This morning I felt called to return to presence. And this happened because I found myself thinking about other humans, stories, narratives of the past. And I was like, what am I doing? And I came back into my heart center and came back into the present. But this is a very common program of constantly thinking of things from the past, especially like first thing in the morning or before you go to bed, these kind of times, or just any kind of downtime. And it was pulling myself out of that. And when I did, I just felt much better, of course. And it reminded me of a vision that I had recently where I could see each human as having like an orb around them and around their entire body. And this orb was all the stories that they were telling themselves, believing in. And this orb really formed their reality to varying extents, all of these stories. And so each of us is walking around with all of our stories, and this is like the filter we see our reality through. And so it was a reminder that it's all just stories, and a reminder to come back to the truth, the multidimensional truth, that the true self within each human, they are unconditional love, they are source, they are light, they are innocent, they are pure, they are whole, they are peace, they are joy, they are accepting, they are approving, they are supportive. And so it was coming back to see the truth, this brilliant light within the center of this orb, larger orb of stories, and zeroing in on that instead of all the stories, and just trusting in my intuitive guidance to assist me to navigate this world of stories, because everyone is having all these stories and projecting them and forming their realities around them. And so this one came up. And I also had something else drop in that really helped me like be present on a whole other level. And that was to act as pure awareness. So what does that mean? So we have 5 physical senses, and of course our other senses we could call our psychic senses, yet they're all senses. And imagine if you're tapped in fully and completely to all of your senses. There's no room for thinking of the past or worrying about the future. When you're completely tapped into all of your senses, you are acting as pure awareness. And that beautiful golden orb, the core in your core, the true you, your true self, your diamond, this is how it operates. This is how your higher self operates, as pure awareness, pure presence. And so it really is like a homecoming, and it always feels amazing, because in those moments we are in alignment and we are really getting a taste for how it feels to be more of our true self. And so it is practicing this, practicing just sitting there and just taking in all the sounds, all the feelings of the sensations of the chair you're sitting in, how your feet feel on the floor, how maybe your hair feels on your shoulder, how your clothes feel on your skin, and the sounds and the smells and all of this. And this really brings us back to the present. And it also came up that when we are so aware of this, we are aware of these senses and also, of course, how we feel. And we are aware, we can take it that step further and be aware of our energy and our vibration. And so at this point, we realize that this awareness in the present is actually assisting us in creating our reality in the future, manifesting in the future, because everything that we are creating the future from the present. There's a channeled message I did that there's a sample of, it's the full message on YouTube, and it's in the Diamond Collective series, talking about creating our future from the now. And I will put a thing so you can check it out somewhere. But what it's talking about is that we are in real time right now creating our future. And so if we are not aware of our vibration and our energy, we are unaware of how we are creating. So it was coming back to this awareness. And so we can think of our energy and our vibration as like how we are feeling is a good gauge. So say we are feeling relief, we are going to be attracting more situations that make us feel relief. On the other side, if we're feeling stressed out, we're going to attract more situations to make us feel stressed out. And I was just sitting there and I was looking outside and I saw a spider on my window. And this spider reminded me that we are creating our reality. And that's what I think of when I see a spider. And as it makes its webs, it's a creator. How are we creating our reality? And we can either be creating with darkness, which is what we could call fear, or we could be creating with light, which is what we would call love. And it's our choice, and there's no right or wrong. We're here to explore both of them. But chances are, if you found this video, you're tired of exploring the darkness and you're ready to explore more of the light. And so this would be creating with love, which would be creating our dreams, our desires, things that, basically anything that feels good to us genuinely. And so this spider reminded me we can create with either darkness or light. And there's no judgment from the universe, from the field, from the creation, either way. It's whatever we want to explore, it's all good. So, but knowing that we have that choice, we can come in and instead of, so in this case, the stress would be creating with darkness and the relief would be creating with light. So we can come back to our feelings and we can be more intentional creators of our reality. And so it also came up to me that oftentimes we are thinking about things we want to manifest. We keep on thinking about them over and over. But the truth is the universe already knows what we desire. The field already knows. Our higher self already knows and is already broadcasting that 24/7. So we don't have to keep thinking of it again and again. What is important that we do is we play our part by feeling how that would feel, how it will feel when it materializes in our reality. And because it is our feeling that is drawing it to us. We've already put the desire out there. The universe already knows what we are calling in, what we desire. but it's up to us to feel how that feels, to draw it to us like a tractor beam, and bring that and any also clues to help us get there, that will be drawn to us, and we'll continue on this path. Kind of like this message and the spider that helped me to piece this all together. And so it's the important part is feeling. So for example, if we want to have more money in our lives, we can think about how that would feel. And so it may be we feel relief because we have money for our needs, for our groceries, and also it could be feeling very exciting because maybe that's extra money to travel somewhere, or take a course that we've been wanting to do, or go on an adventure that we want, or purchase something to assist us in having an adventure or doing something we've been wanting to do, like buying sports equipment or something like that, or buying a board game, a book, anything. So there's excitement in all of that. And then, of course, once we receive this, we'll feel gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation. So there's three right there: relief, there is the excitement, and then there's the gratitude. So we can focus on feeling relief, so we can feel relaxed, at ease. We can feel excited that this is in our future, and we can feel grateful that we are consciously creating our reality and that we are actually manifesting this. So when we keep these feelings, this is going to be what is attracting what we desire to us. And as I moved through my day, one thing I noticed was 12:12 on the clock. And I see angel numbers through the day, but sometimes they really pop out at me, and this one really jumped out. And normally I think of any ones and twos as like our thoughts, our ideas that will be sprouting. So just keep, a little bit of water, and be trusting that everything is going in a positive and desired direction. Yet I felt called to look it up just to see what would come through. And what came through was very similar, but this added thing of keep focused on the highest possible outcomes, on the most optimal result, or better. And it's always wise when we're creating to leave that room for or better. So, but it was remaining focused on this highest possible outcome. And when I thought about it, and I thought about how with manifestation, people often share to focus on what we desire. It's not necessarily to keep thinking about it over and over. It's because when we really focus in on what we desire, we start to feel those feelings of experiencing it, like relief, like excitement, and like gratitude. And when we are feeling those feelings, then we are drawing it towards us. So that's that focus piece. Because I notice sometimes when I'm thinking of something I am desiring to manifest over and over, it can actually create some separation or a feeling of lack of not having it. Yet when we focus on it like we already have it and can already feel those feelings, that's very different. And the truth is we actually are everything already. And so, because we are source and source is everything. And so we can know that, and we can get rid of that separation, and we can know that if it is best for us, that it will manifest, that it or something even better will manifest for us. So this is the message today, my friends. And yeah, if you are going on a camping trip or adventures this summer, looking for some reading material, definitely check out my books. They are packed with personal examples, revelations, insights, analogies, visions, downloads. And there is so much high frequency energy in these because each chapter is a channeled message, and you can literally feel the energy from each being and collective that is in these books. And then each chapter also has an intuitive summary, and that's kind of like what I've been doing on YouTube now in this kind of form, sharing personal examples, revelations, and all this kind of stuff. And so, yeah, you can find them on Amazon. The link will be in the description box. And also, I would love to know if you saw any animals today or any angel numbers and what they meant for you. And with that, I will send you love and blessings on your path, and have a beautiful day. Bye for now.